Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Did you expect me to jump in this afternoon to discuss this amazing subject about raising yourself to raise the next generation? I am here with author Jennifer Okusun. And do you hear that echo again?
I don't hear it. I don't know.
I love technology when it works, so I pray that this works out. One of the things that we had discussed for our community in Black Authors Rock is being supportive to one another. And this is a subject that is not often discussed. And I'm so glad that you have decided to come and to be real and relevant to have this conversation. And for those in the community, they know that I am very, very open and transparent about my own personal testimony. And so, however, this interview can assist you in your writing process, please ask away. So tell the people who you are and what you do.
So, my name is Jennifer Okosun, and I am the author of Raising Yourself to Raise the Next Generation and the founder of Young Parent Elevation Network, which is an uplifting community for young parent families to receive mental health directory and just resources and support to help them with elevating their well-being, improving their family well-being as a whole, with starting with themselves and then their children.
Awesome. What made you get into that field?
So I was basically a young mom. I was 21 years old when I had my first daughter. I only have one daughter. So when I had her at 21, I did not know myself. I did not know how to parent effectively, and I needed help myself. And so I started doing research regarding how to improve my parenting techniques and my parenting skills, as well as how to overcome some of the difficulties and challenges that I faced personally. So I delved right into personal development, a lot of personal development. And I saw that all of the information was scattered all over the internet.
Yeah.
From videos to books to reading articles. I was just like, this is insane. um, it was scattered everywhere. There was no place that I can go to where I can get the personal development in one place where I needed it to be. So I collected everything and I gathered as much as I can, and I created the network so that I could, give young parents what they need most, which is the foundation of success, which is the personal development. If you don't know yourself, you're not going to get very far. So I found that out, and I was just like, well, let me help others since I have all this knowledge and information. It would be remiss to just let it sit with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I wanted to spread it out. So I even created a personal development curriculum, which is a series of personal development sessions for young parents. So it's a whole curriculum that I'm now pitching to colleges and universities, schools, and nonprofits. So I was in a transitional housing program, and I really struggled with mental health and as well as my personal development. So that's how I got started.
I love how you took your own personal experience and you didn't stay stuck. You found a resource. And then once you were educated in it, they say that you're an expert in something when you've spent 10,000 hours in the research and doing it actively. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to college for it. But as a writer, that's what we do. We should research and we should act on it, whether it is speaking, writing, or even publishing. So I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Having our stories align so much. I was a young mom myself, um, but I was young and married, but yet I didn't know myself. And so you said you didn't know yourself, and if you don't know yourself, how can you um, help develop someone else? So my question to you is, with you having all of this information, did you immediately go into the professional side, or did you stay focused in mothering and parenting first?
So that's a good question. I first of all, when I realized some of the childhood trauma that I have suffered was getting in the way of becoming successful, I worked on myself first. So that was the first thing. It was me actually realizing how much of my inner conflicts created outward disasters. And
Yes.
that wasn't my intention. It's not my intention to
Mhm.
messing up things. So I'm like, okay, why is this? So I wanted to really know what is going on inwardly that I needed to focus on, and I got a life coach. So she helped me for about half a year to focus on what I need to shift, and the what we went over was first shifting my thinking. Um,
Mhm.
Thinking was primarily negative. So that's how I thought on a regular basis, day to day. Everything negative would come up first. And with that, we did some exercises and homework that I had to do to shift that to a positive thinking. And that's when I saw the possibilities everywhere. And I was like, wow, you are it. So we worked on that first, and I continued to listen to motivational speakers and just continue to uplift first myself first, and then I went into my daughter and what she needed, and I delved into the parenting and how I wanted to parent and how what traditions we were going to follow, and how I wanted to how putting effective boundaries around family members,
Mhm.
for sure. That was certainly needed. So I delved right into that as well and made sure those boundaries were enforced and stuck to. Like I couldn't like have a boundary and then not enforce it and not stick to it. Um,
Yes.
wasn't going to change anything. It wasn't going to work. Especially with the family members, that contributed to the trauma growing up.
Mhm.
So that was very important. And that's when I started, okay, little by little, I gathered information, and I even spoke to the other parents that was in the transitional housing program about what do they think they need. So it took 5 years to actually come up with the Young Parent Elevation Network. So it was not some over the night, I'm going to just go ahead and slap everything on a website and just throw it out there. It took some time, and that wasn't even the first name. So
Mhm.
I spent time with it. I didn't rush anything.
Well, okay, I love all of this. And the reason why is because we're in the Black Authors Rock community, and so often we speak about just books. But um, it's not just about books. It's about having balance. It's about having boundaries. And the books will come later because you have to have experiences before you can write about them. If you had not been in the transitional housing, if you had not been a young mother, if you had not been suffering with childhood trauma, you could not have been at this place where you are now.
Right.
Uh, a lot of people, and I can say this firsthand, a lot of people say, well, you're out there, you have books, you are in this community, you're speaking internationally, you don't go through anything. But they don't realize the childhood trauma, the family dysfunction, the issues that are supposed to stay quiet. And me, I started writing about my issues.
Right.
That was my outlet. And so
Yeah.
I'm glad that we have decided to have this conversation. And it really wasn't intended for us to have this type of conversation because, and for those who don't know, we are or were scheduled to do an author interview. And I love how things just shift and it's timely because next week we're going to actually have a conversation about minding your business because a lot of people don't understand the process that it all starts in your head. Um,
Mhm.
Regardless to you writing that book or starting that business or raising those kids or even selling. Some people will write a book and don't know anything about selling it. Um, or they have the mindset of, oh, I have to do everything on my own, and then the book is raggedy. No, I mean, it's a lot of different mindsets that people have to shift in. And so I'm glad that you're having this conversation with me today because I too have suffered with mental illness, childhood trauma, dysfunction, you name it. And if people were honest, we have over 1,900 people in this community. On one side alone, we are actually broadcasting in all of our different platforms, but people have to be honest about their ish.
Right. Right. Yeah.
um, like you, and I'm not sure of your age. I had my baby young, and my oldest daughter is 21. They don't come with instructions.
No.
They they have some issues, and if we as adults are honest, the stuff we thought we were getting away with, they're gonna come back and they're gonna pile it
Right.
and
Right.
multiply it. And so they're a book all within themselves. And so I'm grateful that you have shifted this conversation with me because this is important even in the process of writing. You've had to do your homework. You've had to live through it. You had to just be. And a lot of people want to just say, let me just be a published author. I want to make all this money. No,
Right.
you gotta go through some things. You gotta be scared. Um, you mentioned that your book is going to come out national. You wanted your book to debut for National Single Parents Day.
Yeah.
Tell us why. I have an idea, but tell us why that day.
Um, well, that day, it's a day to celebrate single parents. So I would like to launch this book to just be able to celebrate with them with this information that I have, all the testimonies that I have. So the book will be part memoir, but part of it will be the curriculum itself. So that
Mhm.
if they would like to pick up the book and actually see how I changed and how I've overcome so many challenges and difficulties, they are able to do that with some of the exercises in the book alone. So it's a great way to just honor them with my story and testimony and launching the book that day. Um, yeah, so that's why.
Okay, so you guys realize that we are in November, and even though we're going to rebroadcast this video, I need people to understand that we are in November of 2020.
Yes.
National Single Parents Day is what, March 21st?
Yes, March
Okay,
21st,
okay, so
2021.
March 21st. Do you see how far in advance the pre-work has to be done? Because people feel I wrote a book today. Let me debut it on Black Friday. And that's 2 weeks away. And then, I want a whole lot of people to buy my book by Christmas. And I don't know anybody. I don't have an email list. I don't have an audience. Um, I don't even go on Facebook Live or have social media. You have to do the pre work. And we're going to discuss that. But I need people to understand you've been doing the work for how long? You're how old is your baby?
My baby is 9.
Okay, 9 years.
Yes.
And see now, if you didn't listen to the previous part of this recording, she said that she created curriculum around this same subject. So she not only got her healing, she created curriculum. So that's a multiple stream of income because you can do worksheets,
Yep.
workshops, videos, membership. Um, you can do coaching. You can create products behind it. I need
Yeah.
people to understand that it's not as difficult as you may think to go through the process, but you got to go through the process.
Right.
And I know your process hasn't always been easy, and from one single mother to another. Oh Lord, I think I just said that publicly. People didn't know I was divorced. Um, but um, from one single mother to another, I commend you for doing the work. Um, I myself have a life coach, a therapist, a
They are awesome.
counselor, a
Yeah.
psychiatrist, okay, a pastor, preacher, teacher. We need to have people that pour into us so that
Yes.
we can heal from the ish that we've been dealing with. And a lot of people want to keep that covered up and just put stuff on top of it. And all that does is keeps you broken. And then you can't have that success behind that
It
book.
doesn't elevate you. So
That's
the on my Facebook page, the opposite of elevate is depress. So
ooh,
yeah. So I saw that. I was just like, that's interesting. Elevate means to raise, and the opposite of it is to depress, to go down.
I love
So
that.
with all of these things that we just don't want to uncover and actually heal from, it's just weighing you down.
That's
It
it.
elevate with a lot of things on your shoulders.
Oh yeah.
it, it weighs you down. So, and then what you mentioned about having the people that's needed to help with that.
Mhm.
Um, it's actually in my curriculum. It's called How to Build and Maintain Your Support System. So that's the community building part. And relationships take work, and
Yeah.
relationships will get you to where you want to go in business. Whether you're in business or not, you need relationships. Like we
Mhm.
can't hide under a rock and not be relational. That's
Right.
just how life works.
Mhm. And people don't realize that the childhood trauma that is not healed or not uncovered will come out in romantic relationships, in professional relationships, in your money. It will
Our
affect your
disasters.
pocketbook in your wallet.
Yeah,
Um, I love this. I love this subject, and I'm so passionate about it because for years
me too.
I was taught what happens at home stays at home. And for years, because I didn't know better, I passed that on to my children. And so I was preaching, mind you, in the church, pouring and bleeding on people that I was supposed to be there for. And
Hmm.
so, for the writers that are in this community and those who are going to watch the replay, understand the importance behind your blood and the stains. When you are raising yourself to raise the next generation, whatever you don't heal, it multiplies. Because us as parents, mothers are multipliers. The father gives the seed, right?
Yes.
And so, what seeds are you leaving? What seeds are you creating? What are you multiplying? And a lot of people don't understand that. And so, in the process of a writer, um, people need to see that this is a part of the process as well.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I like that.
And so, and culturally, because we are Black Authors Rock, so let's just be honest. Black people don't like saying anything about PTSD, bipolar disorder, sociopath. I mean, social disorder. People,
Yeah.
depression, anxiety. Oh, medication. Mm-mm. No, we're taught to pray our way through and hush. Don't tell anybody, because if they find out, then what? But I am here to be an example to let people know that you must heal, and healing looks good on you.
It really
So
does. Oh my gosh, you just reminded me about the shirt that I created. Healing.
see,
That's a shirt of mine. Healing looks good on you. Yes, that is a shirt. You can go to elevateyoungparents.com to buy that shirt.
all right. ElevateYoungParents.com. Did
Yes.
you guys just catch she has another income stream? I'm loving it. Loving it. Because she's a writer. But that's just one part of
Definitely.
who she is. And that's what we discuss at Black Authors Rock because people don't understand you got to make money in multiple different ways. Everybody's not reading.
That's true. Yeah, definitely.
You may have to have your book as an audio. You may have to have your book as a coloring book. Some people can't read. I mean, I'm not being funny, but it's the truth. Some people only are
No,
going to do
there
it
is.
in a workbook form. Everyone's different. So I I commend you. My hat goes off to you. I wish you said you've been in this thing for 9 years. I'm like, Lord, I'm just I'm just floored at your progress. And I am grateful that you have stood out and you're not only growing, but you're reaching back and taking other parents with you. That's
Yes,
so important.
it's
That
really
is,
yeah.
yes. So tell the people how they can reach you, how they can stay connected to you. Because I know on LinkedIn and other social media, you are just blazing. So let people know how they can reach you and stay connected because they have products to purchase, curriculum to deal. They can do some classes. So I mean, all of these different things, people need to understand that comes before the book. So
Definitely. Yeah, that is true. So you can stay in touch with me, of course, via Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and Twitter. It's all at elevateyoungparents.com is the website. Elevate Young Parents is the Facebook handle, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn is just my personal LinkedIn. LinkedIn account is Jennifer Yolanda Okosun, and that's my full name. And then, of course, we have a website, www.elevateyoungparents.com. So everything is under the Elevate Young Parents handle.
I love that. Okay. Put that in the chat.
Yes, and if you would like to email, we have an email address that's info at elevateyoungparents.com as well. If you would like to send me an email. Um, so that's it. It was great talking to you. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Dr. LaTracy. I
You
really
are welcome.
enjoyed it. Yes, I enjoyed this conversation.
More than welcome. I appreciate you. I did not expect our conversation to go like this, but when you allow just the Holy Spirit to just move the way that it does, I promise you, it's amazing. So I'm glad. And if there's anything that we can do at Black Authors Rock to support you in your journey, even if you need to interview others, put it out there
Yes.
to get more information because you're not the only one. And so, I mean, me first. And so it's difficult. It can be very difficult being a single mom and the way that the world is turning. And some parents had to go from working full time to now homeschooling and or
Yes.
even allowing their kids to go back to school and the fear of them receiving COVID. I mean, all of those different things that adds to the mental stress of it. And
It
so
does.
I am
Um,
happy for the work that you're doing.
Thank you. Yes, and I'm happy that God has prepared me every step of the way, even with homeschooling. He brought it to my attention when I was pregnant that I would be homeschooling, and I'm just like, homeschooling? What?
Mhm.
And then I asked a few family members and friends, and they were just like, why?
Right. Right. Because when
But
you step out
now,
to do something different, I mean, me too, because, I had spoke out of my mouth 2 years ago and I had told some colleagues, I said, you know what? God is really elevating my business and I'm going to be international and I'm going to homeschool the youngest. And everyone was like, homeschool? Do you know you're Black? We don't homeschool. We send them kids to the school. And then I said right before COVID hit, it's time to homeschool. And then COVID hit and we had to. And I was like, what is this? Homeschooling? And so, yeah.
yeah, I was prepared. So I actually already knew how to homeschool.
Yeah. See, that's another thing you can teach us because a lot of parents do not know that process. And especially being a single parent, you have to be parent, you have to be mom. I mean, the cook,
Teacher.
the everything, the teacher. I mean, it's a lot. So I commend you. And if there's anything that we can do, any ideas, any brainstorming, please let us know. Our team would be delighted to help. So I thank you.
Awesome. I'll definitely let you know. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You are welcome. And stay tuned. And we will be getting this video out. It is already live. So I want to see what the comments are because a lot of people can resonate to what we're discussing.
Definitely.
All
Awesome.
right. Well, you have an amazing day and keep rocking.